did you want me to record this? Oh, never mind, you're on it.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Tara Rickaby, and I'm the chair of the Kenora Planning Advisory Committee. This is a regular meeting of Planning Advisory Committee for March the 19th of 2025. As we gather, we recognize that we're on Treaty 3 lands, which are steeped in rich Indigenous history and home to many First Nations and Métis people today. We continue to be thankful for the partnerships with Indigenous people. Prior to calling the meeting to order, so for everybody who's joining virtually, please send a private message to the Secretary Treasurer and inform them of your legal name and your mailing address so that it can be entered into the meeting records. Please ensure your microphone is on mute and be mindful of what's visible to the public and behind you in your surroundings. And the meeting is being recorded, and by continuing to be in the meeting, you're consenting to be recorded. Tap leave meeting on the bottom right of your screen to opt out of and exit the session. When it's time for public comments, I'll address the participant by the name that was recorded with the Secretary Treasurer or that I can see on the Zoom. And acknowledge if you are, so nobody's attending in person. Once your name's been called, then please unmute your microphone or your phone. And all persons addressing the committee shall state their full name and address and must direct their comments to myself, the chair. Decisions will be mailed or emailed to the applicant agent and to all other interested parties who have provided their mailing address and or email address to the Secretary Treasurer. The notice of appeal for a minor variance application must be filed with the Secretary Treasurer within 20 days of the making of the decision. And the notice of appeal for a land division application must be filed with the Secretary Treasurer within 20 days of the mailing of the notice. Other than the applicant, only a specified person or public body, as defined in Section 1, Subsection 1 of the Planning Act, has the ability to appeal the decision made by the Kenora Planning Advisory Committee to the Ontario Land Tribunal. The Secretary Treasurer for the Kenora Planning Advisory Committee is Melissa Shaw. The planners are Ryan Haynes and Tara Vader, and the Director of Planning and Building is Janice Pocalo. All right. So just calling the meeting to order and looking for a declaration of pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof for anything on today's agenda. Nothing for anybody? No? Okay. And from a meeting at which a member was not in attendance? No? You don't see anything, Melissa? No, thank you. All right. Are there any additions to the agenda?
I do have one addition. We will put it under new business and it will be the OCA conference.
Okay. All right, the approval of the minutes from the February 19th, 2025. I'm guessing everybody's had a chance to have a look at those. Do I have a mover to adopt those minutes as circulated?
That's Member Robert.
Member Robert, and a seconder, please.
Member Price, did I see your hand? That's Member Price.
All right, thanks, Mr. Price. Just a reminder, we all have to show our hands in order to vote. So if we could have a show of hands, please, in support of that motion. Good.
That's
all right.
Scary.
Thank you. Is there any other correspondence before the committee?
None that has not already been circulated to members, Madam Chair.
Okay. Any adjournment requests?
Seeing none.
Okay. So the first thing we'll consider is the application for minor variance D13-2503. I thought that I saw a couple of people there. Is there somebody here who wishes to speak to this application?
Good evening, Madam Chair. It's Laura Wheatley. I'm the agent for these applications. Now, I've reviewed Ms. Vader's report. It's very comprehensive, and I'm comfortable letting her take the floor and presenting it. And then if there's any additional questions, then I'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Vader. I can't see you, but it's because I'm on a different screen.
Hi, everyone. I am going to just do one presentation for both the minor variance and consent. I have two separate recommendations that are at the end of the presentation, and then I will be available for questions, and Laura The agent is also here. Let me share my screen.
Ms. Vader, if you don't mind, just 1 minute, we do have member Campbell entering the meeting. If you can just give her a moment to get settled, we'll ensure that she's
Absolutely.
ready for the presentation. Thank you. Welcome, Member Campbell. We will now ask Ms. Vader to commence her presentation. Thank you.
All right, so this presentation is regarding consent and minor variance applications D10-2501 and D13-2503. Oh gosh. Here we are. So an overview, the location for both these applications is a property at the corner of 6th Avenue South and 5th Street South. The agent, as we all were just introduced, is Laura Wheatley of HSL. So the purpose of this application proposes to create one new lot by severing the subject property, which currently contains 2 existing single detached dwellings. The severance would result in both the severed and retained lands not complying with the minimum lot area requirements of the R1 zone of the zoning bylaw, specifically 4.1.3b, which requires a minimum lot area of 450 meters squared. So the minor variance application supports the consent application. Minor variance proposes a minimum lot area of 260 square meters, which is a total relief request of 190 square meters. So this is the site plan provided by the applicant. Or by the agent. This is amended to show the driveway extents. So it just shows that both the severed and retained lands do retain access to their properties and parking area. And both driveways are accessed from 5th Street. So staff comments, we had comments regarding parking and servicing. Both the agent and the city engineering team were able to confirm that both dwellings have their own separate services. And then as the site plan showed, the agent has confirmed that the existing driveway that is currently shared between the 2 dwellings is proposed to continue to function that way as a shared driveway, but each lot will have access and parking area. The M&R provided no comments, and then no comments were received from any other agencies. And at the time that my report was submitted and at the time of this presentation, we have not received any comments from members of the public. So for my planning review for the consent application, this is a list of things that we consider in review of consent application. So it was weighed against the provincial planning statement. In my review, I did find that the application is consistent with policies supporting housing from the PPS. It is an efficient use of land and existing municipal services. So it is consistent with the PPS 2024. The application does not require a plan of subdivision for the proper and orderly development. It conforms with 5124 of the Planning Act. For the City of Kenora official plan, it does satisfy some of our guiding principles. For example, sustainable development. Again, it's an efficient use of land and municipal services. It does not currently comply with the zoning bylaw, but they have submitted a concurrent minor variance application, which should the minor variance be approved, it would be brought into compliance through that application, and currently has no unresolved objections or concerns raised. For the minor variance planning review, again, we did weigh it against the provincial planning statement. It is consistent with the intent of the City of Kenora official plan. Again, meets our guiding principles, sustainable development. It does meet the intent of the City of Kenora zoning bylaw, despite requiring a minor variance. The properties do enable space for parking, and there is space for amenity area on the properties. This is desirable for the development of the land. There is no new development being proposed as part of either of these applications, really formalizing the use of these properties as 2 single-family dwellings. And lastly is the variance minor in nature. The variance is not expected to have any impact on neighboring properties. It is a formalization again of the existing 2 dwellings on the subject lands. So I guess I will go to the minor variance recommendation first. So as a result of our planning review and comments received, it is recommended that minor variance application D13-2503 to seek relief from the City of Kenora zoning bylaw 101-2015, section 4.1.3b, be approved to permit a minimum lot area of 260 meters squared. And the condition on this is that the variance shall apply to the severed and retained lands of the consent application D10-2501.
Okay, thank you. Now, Ms. Wheatley, are you satisfied with that? Have you anything to add?
Yes, I am. I just to add that the dwellings were constructed in the 60s and 70s, I believe, so they have been there for quite a long time. And as Tara mentioned, we're just trying to sever the lot lines so that both properties can either be conveyed separately and treated separately as they physically have been, but just not legally have been.
Okay, thank you. Is there anybody else in the public who wishes to speak to this application? No? Oh, okay. All right. So committee members, any questions or comments? I can't see everybody, so.
Tara, I see none.
Okay, thank you. And so, sorry.
Pardon me, Madam Chair. Member Robert does have her hand up. Member Robert, is that a question?
Yes, I have a question. Thank you, Madam Chair. So is this an unusual occurrence to have 2 properties, 2 houses on one lot? Like, I understand there's history and they're trying to bring everything into line, but are there many other cases in the city of this happening, of this occurrence?
I'll leave that for staff.
I can just speak on my experience. I have only been in the City of Kenora for a year, but I myself have seen a number of properties come up for sale that have 2 dwellings on them. I can't speak to the number that exists in the City of Kenora, but I think I've seen maybe 2 or 3 properties that have come up on MLS that have 2 dwellings on them.
And as a right, that is a right, correct? To have 2 dwelling, at least 2 on each piece of property, is that correct?
Yes, as of right now, with the secondary dwelling unit policies, you are permitted to have 2. I think Janice has follow-up comments.
Thank you, Tara. I can just provide a little bit of historic information. So up until the accessory dwellings were permitted on lots, our zoning bylaw did not allow for more than 1 dwelling on a property. However, much older properties, it was fairly common to have a separate house on a half lot. Some of them have been subdivided off over the years. Some of them remain on the same property. There's even instances of ones that were on separate lots, and because they were owned by the same people, they got merged back together again. So that created a whole bunch of different problems with our provincial legislation. So it's not uncommon for this situation to arise. Now that we're allowed to have second homes in accessory buildings, I don't know if we're going to see an influx of people building small homes and then asking to subdivide them, but it certainly was happening more in the distant past.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? No? All right. Committee members, do you need to hear that resolution or that motion read again? Just a show of hands if you would like it. Then Melissa, you can see.
Certainly, I will proceed, Madam Chair.
Okay.
That Planning Advisory Committee approves application D13-2503 to seek relief from the City of Kenora zoning bylaw 101, 2015, section 4.13B, be approved to permit a minimum lot area of 260 meters squared. And the condition is that this variance shall apply to the severed and retained lands of consent application D10-2501. Back to you.
All right. Any discussion on that? May I have a mover, please, for that resolution?
Member Bowman, Madam Chair.
Okay, and seconded by Ms. Robert. Thank you. All in favor, please, show of hands.
That is a carried vote.
Thank you. And then is the second resolution ready to be read as well? Okay, thank you.
That application D10-2501 for consent for lot severance on property located at 501/609 6th Avenue South and legally described as parcel 13378, lot 121, plan M38, pin 42166-0139 is approved and provisional consent is granted, subject to those conditions as outlined within the planning report.
Okay, any discussion? Oh, sorry, mover, please, for that.
Did you see that?
Ms. Robert?
Member.
Yes, and seconder, please. I'll just kind of move this along here. I can't see. Is there
I
a
have
second?
member. Yep.
All
Member
right.
Funk.
All right, okay, so any discussion on this? No. All right, may I have a show of hands, please, if you are supporting this application, this resolution? Thank you.
That is a unanimous vote carried. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Wheatley, for being here with us this evening. As you are well aware, these applications will be subject to their respective appeal periods. I will send you a notice of those decisions, and the appeal periods are up within that first week of April. So if you have any questions about the notice of decision, please feel free to email us in the planning department. Otherwise, look forward to receiving those decisions in your inbox tomorrow.
All right, thank you, and good night, everyone.
Good night. So I just want to go off the agenda for one moment. We did ask whether or not there were pecuniary interest for all members except Ms. Campbell. She wasn't at the meeting yet, is that correct?
Correct. For the minutes,
Okay,
Ms.
I
Campbell.
just want to make sure. Okay, so I can't see you, Andrea, but I just want to make sure that if you have a pecuniary interest and the general nature of that for today's agenda, do you have anything? You're muted. There we go.
You're asking if I have a conflict of interest?
Yeah, if there's a, yeah. Okay, and from a meeting in which you were not in attendance.
No.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. That's great. All right, so back to the agenda. So no recommendations to council for amendments, no old business, but under new business then is OCA.
Yeah, certainly. So thank you, Madam Chair. I will just speak to this. Over the past few weeks, we had asked members to identify if they were interested in attending the OCA conference, and I do appreciate all members getting back to me. I do want to acknowledge that there was interest by some members, but just due to personal circumstances or unfortunate timing, they were unable to attend. So again, we do thank you for your interest in attending OCA. We did have 2 members who were available to attend and 1 staff member. So this evening, I am just looking for a motion to support Tara Rickaby and Linda Mitchell as members of Planning Advisory Committee and Tara Vader as staff, attending as delegates at the 2025 Spring OCA Conference. And that is to a maximum financial budget of $6,000. So just looking for a motion to approve that. I will ask for a mover. Okay, Member Robert and a seconder. Member Funk. Thank you so much for the minutes. So Member Mitchell and Member Rickaby, thank you for attending on behalf of the City of Kenora, and I look forward to hearing all about it upon your return.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. All right, so the next thing is an update on the official plan, zoning bylaw, and community improvement plan review. I think that's Janice probably, is it?
Thank you, Tara. Just a reminder that there is a survey open to the public and to all members of PAC to provide some input into the direction that the new official plan is taking. So that survey, you can access it from the City of Kenora website, and we would certainly encourage all of you to take part. So far, the responses are fairly good. Tara's nodding, so it seems to me we're around 200, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Good.
So it's not a bad response rate. And certainly, if you have any comments that you wish to share with staff on the existing official plan and changes you might like to see, we're open to hearing those suggestions.
Thanks. And you had an excellent turnout, I think, at the open house?
I was unable to attend because I was sick. Maybe Tara, can you comment on the open house?
Yeah, the open house went really well. I think we ended up with about 50 people who signed in. So there may be a few more that didn't sign in. We had lots of great questions, and a lot of people were really keen to put some sticky notes on our boards and give us all their thoughts. Obviously, not all the feedback is going to be positive, but we got lots of constructive feedback, and that's what we were asking for. So it was a really good experience.
Oh, good. That's great. Yeah, the parking lot was full at 10 after 6 when I rolled in, so that was a pleasant surprise.
I have been to some of these events that no one showed up for, so it is good that there is interest.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so does anybody else have anything? No. All right. So we're just going to adjourn then. I just need a motion, please, to adjourn this meeting at 6:23.
Seeing Member Funk, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. And so good night. And oh, did we want to speak to the special meeting?
Janice, you can take that. If you want me to just
Sure.
speak to attendance, I have heard from most members, but if you can kindly respond to the email I sent earlier this afternoon, we will try and confirm that special meeting ASAP.
Okay.
So yes, we're trying to hold a special meeting to talk about the terms of reference for Planning Advisory Committee, and those documents will be shared with you. And prior to that meeting, we've got a few changes that'll be coming in by the end of this week, and then we should be able to get that to you either on Friday or on Monday. Looking at next Friday as a possible meeting date. The Monday time slot that Melissa had suggested, I have a conflict, but Friday works for me, so hopefully that works for everyone else. And then we can go over the proposed terms of reference, any questions and concerns that you might have, and that would be going to council in April.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Sorry.
So I just, sorry.
Chair? Sorry, Madam Chairman, can I ask one question? Will the terms of reference be available prior to that meeting, did you say?
We have some amendments that we're making to it right now, and we should have those back on Friday. So yes, you will have them before the meeting. Hopefully Friday, if not over the weekend or Monday, but it'll be in advance of the meeting.
Good, because I'm away on the Friday of the meeting itself. So if I have some input, I could send it.
Perfect. That would be
Good.
Most welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right, well, thank you, everybody. I just wondered if Linda and Tara could hang around for a couple of minutes just so we can talk logistics here for booking purposes.
Good
Thanks,
night, everyone. Thank
Right,
you.
thank you.
Thanks.